as you can tell, I apologize for the extended break that I ended up taking. Moving was exhausting. And my setup is not quite right. I'm sure you noticed the shadows. I'm trying to figure out where I can film with the least amount of difficulty and the best visibility at this new place. But for now, I wanted to go ahead and get this out. I realize it's already Tuesday the 27th. But I wanted to go ahead and film this week's plan with me because I need to get back in my planner. As you can tell, it's been a few weeks since I've even touched it. It's been a day-by-day kind of thing. And I apologize if you hear any noise in the background. My kids are watching TV while I do this really quickly. So this is going to be just a really quick throwing together this week. It's not going to be pretty, but it's going to be something. So I'm going to be using this kit. Oops, that's upside down. This kit by Crafts by Doralia. I actually already stole this for another spread a while back, and I stole these for something as well because they were super cute, and I learned that I don't like having the lumps on the timeline. I love the timeline covers because I don't use the timeline very much. Well, I haven't been using the timeline very much. I will today a little bit, and I'll show you why. But yeah, so we're just gonna get to it. So we are finally moved, and we have actually owned this house for the last 10 years. And we moved out of it last year because it needed some renovations. Our house was built in 1898. Yes, 1898. And we had purchased it with the intention of doing some pretty serious renovations. And you know what they say about the best laid plans. It kind of never happened. And last year, due to a variety of circumstances, we had the opportunity to move out of it for a little while and really take care of some of the things that needed to be taken care of rather desperately. And so it's finally done, and we're finally back in it. Yeah, so we are done with the move. I still have a couple of things to wrap up, you know, cleaning up a little bit at our rental. Woo, that is just completely not straight in the slightest. You know, the typical vacuuming and cleaning the carpets and making sure everything's done, all the holes in the walls are patched and that sort of thing. So there's still that to do, but we have to turn in the keys this Friday. That's not gonna work, so we're just gonna leave it alone because I'm ripping my page, and I will trim that off. Because I don't want to rip my pages. So yeah, it has been quite the adventure. My house is still just swimming in boxes, and it's a little bit chaotic, but we're gonna make it work and we'll get settled in. My son is fine because he remembers living here. He was 4.5 when we moved out. He was almost 5. No, he had just turned 5 when we moved out. So he, you know, remembers quite well living here. But my daughter was only 8 months old when we moved out. So in her mind, and she keeps begging to go home, meaning the apartment. So that's kind of hard. She is not a fan of change, or of anything that disrupts her routine. So, yeah, she is not a fan of the, gosh, I don't know why I'm shaking. It could be the 3 cups of coffee I've had already this morning. She is not a fan of this whole moving thing. Yeah, I don't even know where my stuff is to do tearing washi at this point. I'm just all discombobulated. So that's been a bit of an adjustment for her, but things are starting to get back to their new normal. So yeah. And as you all know, oh, that's what I meant to grab. I meant to grab my dots. Woo! An avalanche just happened. Okay, sorry. Date dots. It is okay. I apologize for that and for any noise you hear in the background again. I had an alarm go off and I didn't realize that it made my thing stop filming. So I just put down date dots. I use these from a kit that I got from Tealing Stickers, and I just put down the date dots for that. And then I'm going to get to writing. Now, in the past, I have not used the timeline for stuff, but I sort of am right now a little bit. It's a little bit weird. I homeschool my son and have been trying to make this work as an all-in-one planner, and it's really not. So, anyway, I'll get into that in another video. But for right now, I am going to do this just to mark our school time every day. And this is actually our co-op day. We meet once a month. Whoops. I can draw a straight line. And on that day, because he takes 5 classes at our co-op, we don't do any school at home that day. We make it up on Saturday. So we have... You'll have to excuse my terrible handwriting. I have terrible handwriting anyway, but I'm writing at a really weird angle right now. So it's a tad, okay. And then we will have school. I mean, technically we wouldn't have to make it up, because co-op day definitely counts towards the 180 days that we are required to school during the year. But I don't like to lose a day of actual home instruction this early in the year, because inevitably you have sick days and we want to take, you know, a last second family day somewhere. And, you know, that's the beauty of homeschooling, is that you can, but we are legally required in our state, which is Indiana, to have 180 days of in-class or school instruction. And with the curriculum, it's all designed to run around that length. So if I lose too many days to co-ops or field trips and not do any book instruction those days, I end up running at the end of the year having to cram a bunch of stuff in. So I prefer to just bump it out to a Saturday as much as possible, to give us that little bit more of extra flexibility and leeway, and still give him something of a summer. Because certainly the beauty of homeschooling is that if you need to, I'm sorry, that's my dishwasher emptying. Okay, sorry about that. That's the beauty of homeschooling, is that you have the flexibility to go 365 days a year if you want to. But he has a bunch of little friends that are in public and private school, and they follow, you know, a more public school timeline, and so he likes to have the summers free to spend with his friends, and I understand that completely. So we do our best to accommodate that and not have him schooling year round, at least for right now. So yeah. Got church marked, and then I have a friend, what is this that I need? Who's, actually, I'm gonna do the circle for this one. A good friend of mine's birthday is on Sunday. And let's see, okay. I was going to do, I'm sorry, as you can tell, I'm just an epic mess today. I'm just all discombobulated and I don't know which end is up. This is not going to be a gorgeous spread. Okay, this is what I can do for that. No, I can't actually. Okay, so this is just going to be a really unattractive list. This stencil, you may remember seeing in my previous videos, I have broken my Hobonichi stencil that had my checkboxes, and I used that thing so much. So I actually got this. This is, I don't know if you can see, probably not. It's etched. This is a Dear Lily Designs stencil. They sell a ton of stencils, and most of them cater to more bullet journaling or Erin Condren size, 5mm grid, like the Leuchtturm 1917, you know, that style. They do have a few that are catered directly to the Japanese planners, Hobonichi brand specifically, with the various size. So this is their Japanese planner stencil checklists. And you've got the 3.7 spacing, which is for the cousin and the A6 original day pages. You've got the 4mm, which is for the English version of the A6. And then you've got the 3.55mm, which is for the weeks and the monthly view of the A6. I didn't realize this until I had this stencil and I have an A6, that the weekly supplement for the A6 size, which is this, and I totally just marked my page, whoops, is a 3.55mm as well, just like the weeks. And the monthly view of the A6 original is the 3.55mm, but the daily pages of the A6 original Japanese is the 3.7. And it's close enough that you'd never realize unless you were trying to fit checkboxes on there, basically. But yeah, I thought that was really interesting. So anyway, I ordered this one, and where is it? They're little tiny weather icons, and it's got a couple of other little, you know, tiny little things, which I thought were super cute. And I really like them. They're very high quality. I did ask them when I was in my Jibun Techo, because the Jibun has an even smaller grid. It's a 3mm instead of the 3.5 or the 3.7. So this doesn't quite fit either. I did ask if they had any plans to make any stencils for the Jibun, and they do not, because of their manufacturing process and the material. They feel like it would be way too small and they would have way too much trouble manufacturing this appropriately. And I completely understand that. This is a very thick, nice plastic, just like the Hobonichi stencils are. This is not laminated. This is, you know, some kind of thin plastic. So there's that. They are, I believe, $5, $4.95 each, which is a little pricey. I mean, as far as like how small they are, but they are very high quality and they're worth it. They're not like the cheapy little plastic ones you can get on Amazon, which does work okay. But I find personally, for me, that those, if I'm not holding it like everywhere I draw, you have to hold it down, otherwise the pen, it's so flimsy, it's such a thin material that the pen just sort of picks it up and goes right underneath it. At least I find that for myself. So I actually like these, and I think they are worth the $4.95 price tag plus shipping. And they have a ton of stuff. So there's that. That's right. So we are gonna go from what am I doing? I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm so turned around. Yeah, this whole using the timelines thing means that a lot of my other stuff is not correct. And I'm so excited my son is in Awana this year. He could have started anytime, really. They start even down as like 2 years old now, but he is very hyperactive and has ADHD, and we did not feel that he was going to be capable of participating in any sort of meaningful way up until this year. And he is finally, we think, mature enough to handle it and enjoy it and do well. So I did Awana as a child, and I am so excited that he can participate in that this year. Yes, and then we're going to go with the ever important nap time. And I am writing that down because my daughter is almost 3 and she is starting to want to drop her naps. And so I am recording when she would normally, up until now, have been sleeping. And then I'm going back in and marking when she actually slept. And sometimes she'll fight, and I'll get her down, and then she'll pass out for like 4 hours, and other times it's just not pretty. So, she has always been my good sleeper. She will literally beg to go to sleep when she's tired, so this new trying to avoid it thing is just not really, I'm not liking it. Not liking it at all. Sorry, I'm writing oddly because I have my little tab right here for September. Okay, so then we are going to do working a little bit differently. Like I said, I have been running around so crazy. I haven't even really hardly used my planner, which is horrible. This is like my portable brain. Those of you that have children, mom brain is so real. Those of you that don't, please have sympathy for us. And it's just been a nightmare. It's been absolutely crazy in this move because I've barely touched my planner, and so it's just all dependent upon me remembering what I need to do, and that is not a good thing. So today I have done the dishes, tomorrow is laundry, I'm still unpacking. So much of my house is in boxes and I don't know where anything is, and it is just not pretty. Oh, no pantry. I probably actually won't get any of that done that day. Co-op really wipes us out. We usually just take it easy for the rest of the day on those days, but whatever. And then our keys are due on Saturday. I did clean yesterday at the apartment. So it's done, it's clean. My husband needs to just go through today. I think he's going this afternoon after work to, spackle the nail holes and, the little things that you do when you leave an apartment. And then I will run over Wednesday or Thursday and just paint over those patches that we do real quick. They were I think they did it for their convenience, but it actually works out for us. They left the can of paint that they used to paint the apartment before we moved in. They left the remainder of it at the apartment. So I have matching paint that I can go back in and just cover over the patches that he does. So yay for getting your security deposit back. Okay, so I have, woo, I can spell. Y'all seriously ignore my hideous handwriting. And this isn't really a list of the days, like the order that I'm gonna do this in. This is just a list of the meals that I have for this week, and I'll cross it off as I rate them, or as I cook them. What else do I have to cover? Oh yeah, turkey roast. Okay, and so we have, let's see what else I've got. Hang on. Go back, go back, go back, go back, go back. So how many of you are excited about the release on this weekend of the new 2020 Hobonichis? I would love to hear what you're planning on purchasing. I am in the midst of doing a major planning change, and I will talk to you more about it later, towards either when I do an unboxing video, which I may or may not do, or the end of the year, whichever comes first. I will explain some more about what we're doing, how I've changed up my planning for 2020. Some of you may have already seen me mention it elsewhere on the internet. And if so, don't spoil it for everyone else. You'll have to go hunt me down and see if you can figure out how I'm changing things up for next year. So that should be interesting. And that is pretty much going to be it for right now. I'm not going to backfill yesterday. I will probably do some to-dos for today. But as you can see, I'm actually using the timeline a little bit more. And that is because I'm really needing to chunk out times for school. We have a lot more to do this year since he is in first grade instead of in kindergarten. We have quite a bit more to do. And so I'm needing to make sure that I block out that time every day visually. Anyway, so there we go. That's what this week looks like. I'm sorry for the disjointed video that this will be because of all the interruptions. But thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your patience as I was gone for a few weeks. I am back. I am going to continue making videos. And if you have things you would like to see or questions about what I've done here or previous videos, leave me a comment below. If you enjoy this type of content, please hit subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.